Hi there, it's me, Civilla. This is a mini-sode. I just wanted to stop by because I didn't get a chance to in January. We had that great interview in January. I'm not going to get a chance to in February because we have another great interview, and by the time I have a monologue, it'll probably be March, and that's kind of late to be saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year, happy 2022. I am wishing you all the best in 2022. The last couple of years have been really crazy, and just hoping we have some type of reprieve, right? We all need a reprieve right now. This has been tough. It's been difficult. Just wanted to be sure that you're still with me. I thank you for all of the listens, the downloads. I can see in the number of downloads that you're tuning in month after month. It is truly appreciated. If you want to share the episodes, I always ask you to do that. Please do share and reshare. I know some of you say that you don't really have anybody to share the episodes to, and I know some of you are not really comfortable discussing the childless not by choice aspect of your lives, even with family members. I know some of you are still working through that part of your journey, and I get it. But if you are comfortable with it, please do tell someone that you know, anyone, about the podcast, Childless Not by Choice, and tell them that they can listen to it just about anywhere podcasts are listened to, because that's literally the truth. But everybody knows and recognizes Apple. So just tell them you can listen to it on Apple. Childless Not by Choice. It's available on Amazon Music as well, though. Google Play Radio, if they still call themselves that. So it's available in Android and iOS platforms in their app store. Childless Not by Choice. Be sure to tell somebody. Tell them we do exist. And if you don't know how to tell them to listen to the podcast. Thank you. Well, I also wanted to talk to you about the goals and visions document that I have on the childlessnotbychoice.net site. That is a document that I created several years ago. And it's something that I created based on people that I saw creating their own. Instead of just making a list, on a yellow line piece of paper or a table napkin of their New Year's resolutions, I put together this list or document of people who I consider successful in what they do instead of making resolutions. And that's how I came up with this goals and visions list. So check it out. It takes time to fill out. It's not, like I said, it's not just a piece of paper. You're literally sitting down with it and you're filling in the blanks. I give myself the whole month of January to fill it in. And then once it's filled in, you go back and look at it throughout the year, make sure things are getting done that you wrote down, and anything that you need to tweak or update, you can do that inside the document. And it's something that may change. I may change it and tweak it next year. So you can download a copy every year, or you can use the same template, because that's basically what it is a template. But however you want to do it, because once you write something down, you have a better chance of getting it done and something working out for you, as far as just talking about doing things and not really ever getting to it. The Goals and Visions document, Goals and Visions list, childlessnotbychoice.net on the shop page. Also, I wanted to talk to you about the Facebook groups. We have the Childless Not by Choice with Civilla Morgan Facebook group, which is for women only. We also have the Childless Not by Choice supporters Facebook group, which is for everybody, whether you're childless not by choice or not. And there are some members on there that are childless not by choice. There's also a page, Civilla Morgan Books, Blogs, and Podcast. And that page is also basically for anyone, whether you're childless not by choice or not. I have a lot of people on there who have families. They don't fit our demographic, but they like to know what's going on the platform. And so those are two places where if you don't fit the childless not by choice demographic, you can still come along for the ride, for the journey. But the Childless Not by Choice with Civilla Morgan group for women only, that group is, I don't know, there's a lot of conversation from time to time. Sometimes it gets quiet, but it's a safe place. And I just want to remind you that it exists. And I think there are members you're members, but not much is said. And I think it's because, and I'm guilty of the same thing, I belong to tons of groups, and I don't really go to a group unless maybe I need something or to check on something with the group, and I don't get the notifications because I didn't make the group primary on my groups list on Facebook. So may I ask you to make that group as a primary group so that you see everything that's going on, that you get notifications whenever somebody posts, and join the conversation. That's what all I'm asking is for you to join the conversation. I hope this doesn't happen to my group, but I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. This year, maybe a year or two ago, a week or two ago, I went through all of the groups that I belong to on Facebook, and I could not believe the number of groups that I was a member of. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I started looking at when I had last visited a lot of these groups, and there were a couple of groups where I hadn't been in there in 5 years. One of them was 5 years. One was 6 years. A lot of them was 1 year. And I'm like, this doesn't even make any sense. So I just went through the list and I started deleting things. And I'm going to make it a habit not to just accept invitations just because. It has to really, it has to be something that I know that I'm going to take part in, because look, guys, we all know, especially after the last 2 years, witnessing the last 2 years, life is short. It's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. There are millions of people who have lost a loved one due to the pandemic, and I guess maybe this is just me talking from loss, from missing my mom, losing my mom a couple of years ago. It's just completely changed my brain. And they say grief does rewire your brain, at least temporarily. But I think, yes, it does temporarily rewire your brain. I think going forward, though, it makes you make decisions that you probably wouldn't have paid attention to before. And I've made some decisions where I'm just not okay with just okie doke or just joining just because. Everything that I do now is because it's what I feel I need to be doing. That includes something as simple as joining a Facebook group or not. I'm just really thinking about all of my decisions, whether it's having to do with my platform, my life, my everything. I think about all of my decisions now because I realize, and I knew this before my mom passed, but it didn't sink in until she passed, that life is short and we only get one life. We can't waste it. And that's another reason why I think the Goals and Visions document is so important, because it helps us tweak the way we want to see things work out for us in a particular year, every year, hopefully. That's why I'm really passionate about the Goals and Visions document. That's why I'm asking you, especially if you're childless not by choice, to join one of the groups or pages and make it a primary page so that you can make a contribution and that you can get help whenever you need it. Sometimes women will post in there if they're having, in the women's group, if they're having an issue or a problem they're not really sure how to deal with. Maybe a coworker's coming to the office with her brand new baby and, you're just apprehensive. I've been there, stuck, couldn't get out of it, show up with the new baby, and I had to put a smile on my face. And of course I was happy for the person, but it's just that I would rather have been someplace else. And so how do you deal with it? And of course I had nobody to talk to at the time. And so sometimes women come into the group and they're like, this is happening. What do you suggest? And I love the feedback that they receive from the other members of the group. And that's what community is all about. And so if the Facebook group is not primary and you don't remember it's there because you're not seeing the notifications, make it primary. See how that helps you and how you can help someone else as well. Also, I wanted to remind you, if you haven't, I know I talk about it all the time, but if you have not, please fill out the survey. It's a link on the show notes for every episode, and it's going to be here as well. It's going to be on the show notes for this mini episode that I'm doing right now. So be sure to take the survey if you haven't already. And once again, Happy New Year. I'm wishing you all the best in the new year. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. You can email me at civillamorgan.com, or on Facebook, you can messenger me, on Twitter at Civilla1, on Instagram at Joy and Relevance. And so there are multiple ways to reach me, but give me 24 to 48 hours to respond, please, and I will respond. If you have any episode suggestions, I am still taking suggestions, although I think I'm pretty much filled out as far as suggestions for the year. If you have a suggestion that I think would, maybe supersede something I already have, I'll take a look at it. I may change an episode for a particular month. So don't be afraid to send me an episode suggestion. And with that, I just want to say thanks again for tuning in all the times that you do every month. It is appreciated. Happy New Year. All the best to you. Feel free to reach out, even if you just want to say hi. Hi is great. It lets me know that you're listening and that you're getting value from the podcast and from the episodes. So even just reaching out to say hello would be fabulous. And in the meantime, have a great 2022. Bye.